Hi guys, this is Lucille from Aevum, Italy. Join us on the Dublin Metal Gatherings Facebook page. It's gonna be fun. See you there. Bye.
Hello everyone. So
Hi.
Hello.
we have someone from Italy, and I will give the microphone to Aevum so they can introduce themselves.
Okay, who goes first?
First the ladies,
Oh, thank you. Hi, hello everyone. This is Lucille. I'm the singer from Aevum. We come from Italy, and we are so glad to be here with the fantastic guys of Dublin Metal Gatherings.
Hello everybody, this is Richard from the Aevum Band 2. And yeah, like my bandmate told very well, we are so happy and thrilled to be here with you. So we have a party tonight.
Thank you guys for coming in, joining us.
That's great.
You're welcome.
A pleasure, as you said.
Amazing. So how are you guys doing?
Well, good, I would say. Much better. Yeah. We were talking about that before. The COVID situation here in Italy is much better, so we can actually go out and see people, so we can see our families, friends, and apparently from next week it's possible to play and concerts are allowed, so we see the light.
Yeah, we are returning to a normal life. Also for us, we're after a big moment that we were blocked in our apartments and houses. Now we are planning to come back to the rehearsal room, so it's a good step for us.
Cool.
And for everybody.
That's good news.
Oh, so the name Aevum, I am pronouncing it the whole time like incorrect. I learned like Aevum. So
yeah,
let's do it properly now for the group, so everyone of Dublin Metal Gatherings can pronounce this name properly.
okay. Well, that's an issue because we're not sure. Well,
actually, go.
Okay, me first, ladies first.
Sorry.
Okay, it comes from Latin, so in Italian we would say Aevum, but as maybe it's a bit hard to pronounce from English speaking people, like Aevum or Aevum is fine.
Yeah, it's fine. We don't care.
Accept it.
So I can pronounce it Aevum?
Yeah,
You can
as you like it.
All right then. And how did you come up then with the name?
Well, actually, when we formed the band, was I remember during the first meeting we did. It was like proposed just like this, and we accepted. It was a weird name from Latin at the same time. Explain something from Gothic dimension. So we liked it, and we continue with this name. So now it's our name.
It kind of means time,
Yeah, it's a sort of dimension. So it's very hard to explain what is Aevum. If you want to know what it is, you have to go on Wikipedia. It's better to know about the meaning of the name.
Like you said, the time it's really fitting. Like with songs you make, like Time Machine and so on. It's like sometimes dimension and atmosphere.
Yeah, that's the point. Thank you.
All right. So, yeah.
Richard, you're usually wearing masks, like on the stage, on the videos. Like, how did that started?
Yeah, it started at the beginning of the band. We knew at the time that it was important to create an image for bands, and each character picked, a sort of precise character inside the band. So someone during a concert told me, yeah, it could be cool if you wear a mask. So I did it, I tried, and I like it. So after this moment, I always wear a mask, and I create a sort of character that I hide myself all the time. So this is why I wear a mask, and I wear these cool not they're not sunglasses, but they're cool glasses. So this is why I wear a mask.
Cool.
And
Get
Lucille,
used to it.
Okay, I shared the
Lucille
script.
doesn't agree, but
Oh well, I surrender.
Lucille is without mask always.
Yeah, of course. I like the face.
Yeah, I
What
think
about the face mask that we have to wear?
Well, but I think that Richard sometimes wear cool masks.
no, but it's very cool to wear a mask because all my bandmates, for the photo shooting, go live, have to sometimes do some makeup for them, especially. I don't have to do it, I can be ready in 2 minutes, so it's good.
Easy.
but
One good thing about it.
if I'm correct, Hidra doesn't wear like a mask, the singer as well. He just is himself.
Yeah, actually, now it's a long time that we are playing and we're active. Yeah, sometime also the singer has wear the mask too. So it was something common inside, the band. Also, the first cover art of our first album. Well, the protagonist of the cover art is a mask. So it's something that explain also our way to express the music.
Yeah, and I think it's also connected to the theatrical dimension, the masks of the classical theater. It comes a bit from that, the show
Character.
stage. Yeah.
Lucille told very well.
Bravo.
Cool stuff. So what are your influences?
Ooh, big questions.
Hard question. Yeah.
I think that I try to answer it about the songs, so the music, and then I let Lucille answer about the influence, about the lyrics. Yeah, at the beginning, we started with an old and classic Gothic metal, so we were influenced by the biggest band of this field, this kind of music. We were influenced by Tristania, Furion, Haggard. Then also we evolved during the years the sound. I think that today we are still inside this type of new modern Gothic metal, but I like to try to be influenced by everything. So this is why also because we are different people inside the band, so everybody also has is used to listen different kind of music. So there are people who are listening to pop music, there are people that listen to classic music, people from electro pop, techno. So with different influences you can have grab ideas from everywhere and try to create a sort of melting pot. So we try to mix different influences now, I think.
Certainly.
Yeah, and that's a bit the same with the lyrics. We usually choose a theme for each album, and then everyone puts their personal experiences and ideas to create something unique but close to the theme. Like, for example, Multiverse was all dedicated to sci-fi universes. So there are different inspirations there, like from movies, TV series, novels, and so on, poetry. All of us, we put our brains together there.
Yeah, the sci-fi like song was especially Spark of Life, if I remember correctly, from Multiverse.
Yeah, that was the most sci-fi video we made, and it was actually a tribute to this kind of universes. But also the Time Machine, for example, it was like dedicated to the dream of having a time machine. What would you do?
And yeah, express also that you can depict different situation different ways. So you can have the same song and you can interpret the same song, different style, and you can have wear different clothes. So we want to give different impressions to the audience. So it's something that it's the aim of our band, I think.
Yeah, I think it clarifies what you said, Richard, and also about the electro influences and so on. It makes I think like the band like unique. Like some songs, like at the beginning, I hear like a little bit experimental, instrumental, and then Lucille or Hydra is singing. So
For sure. I always admire bands that were able during the years to evolve their sound. So, for instance, I admire bands like Ulver. I think a band from, the north of Europe that, for instance, they started with very cold black metal. Then during the years, they were able just to evolve their song till right today to produce some electro ambience that is totally different from their origins. But it's nice when an artist, a musician, also do some research. It's not always satisfied about their sound and try to evolve it. So it's something that I think it's important for a band.
And how did that?
Sometimes you no, sorry. Sometimes you risk to disappoint someone in the audience, for sure, if you change something, but it's a risk that an artist has to do because it's what we want, I think.
Yeah, that's great. But how did you come up with this idea for Multiverse? Do you like sci-fi? Who came up with it?
Well, I think that Lucille is the director of this idea. She we were talking about, actually Multiverse started from an idea. We were inspired from a series called Black Mirror. I think that you know very well. A sort of new world, where a post-apocalyptic new world where there are different scenario, no with link together, but you can depict different situation. And we started like this. So she proposed this idea, and we liked it, and so then we started to write the songs and the lyrics about this theme, I think.
Cool.
Yeah, we thought, let's say we have a dystopic world. What would happen? So we chose different topics, like for example, you have the time machine, or a spark of life is like the life of a robot, artificial intelligence. And then you have the spaceship, or Mars, the exploration of the universe, the creation of the universe. So they are classical sci-fi topics, but we wanted to explore them in our way, let's say that.
and that explains the name, I think, the multiverse, the time traveling, the certain sci-fi topics, and so on and so on.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool story.
You understood very well.
So, Lucille, you joined in 2016 the band. How did that happen?
Yeah, that's a funny question. Well, because it was all by accident.
You think it was an accident? Then there is a black plan behind that.
Yeah, Richard planned everything. Well, they needed a singer for a concert, and they asked me by chance because someone spoke to them about me, and I asked for money, actually.
We had to pay
For
her.
Well,
Like,
it was
we have to beg you.
well, it was meant to be for one concert, but then Richard started with his evil plan and like sent
Please,
me
please,
messages.
please.
But then I really liked the project and the people in the band. They were great, and I just accepted like that without even thinking too much about it.
And then, you know, also because actually when she came in the band we were really, really lucky. I actually I wouldn't have to say this in front of Lucille, but actually no, I'm considering myself very lucky to met her 4 years ago. Now it's 5 years almost, because she had a different type, you know, of way to think. So she bring the positive energy inside the band, and it's important, you know, when in the dynamics of the band with the bandmates, when you have a positive person with you, then someone that can propose ideas and it's always positive, so can support the project. So we were really, really lucky. But now sometimes it's hard to have Lucille with us. No, I'm joking, you know, because I said only positive aspects.
Yeah, I'm flattered. Thank you.
Could be considered like a fake, you know.
Thank
And
you.
it's true. We are happy to meet her.
So, and how did you meet her then?
We met the first time, I think, because actually I knew or already knew it because we are living in the same city in Italy at the time, and she were singing for another metal band from Turin too. So we noticed her. She was a really talented female singer, also because for her opera skills, she's actually the hard thing. It was to convince Lucille to sing clean, not opera, not in opera way. Because she was at the time really shy, and still today sometime I have to fight with her because I'm saying to her, you have a really super voice, you have to sing this, you have to trust me. And sometimes she trusts me, sometimes not. Still,
Usually I don't.
And
yeah,
then
I'm actually more into opera. I'm classically trained, so it's easier for me to sing the operatic parts more than the clean vocals.
I always remember you as the operatic like one and Hydra more like the unclean. That's how I remembered like Aevum.
Yeah, that's true. But in Multiverse, there are more clean female vocals than in Dyschronia, because what he said, what Richard said before, you know, the evolution. We try different things, and we also try to insert more clean.
And in the next album, she will sing "Grow."
That will be interesting.
Yeah, you know, for
Grow.
experiments.
It would be nice. Or at least
No, it wouldn't.
at least to try, you know, when you will do and the next opera you will do it, you will try maybe the Grow.
Yeah, people would appreciate that.
I think so.
We will see how that will turn out.
We'll let you know.
And because the band is from 2007, you had Dyschronia, and if I'm honest, I met you in 2018 and I listened to Dyschronia and I started with Multiverse. But now I'm wondering myself, what happened before 2017? Was Hydra only singing, or did you have another female?
No. Actually, we started with actually we had two female singers. Lucille, she's the second one. Um, we started in 2007, but we took, I think, 4 years to have a stable lineup because we created our first EP in the demo in 2008, but our real first demo is from 2012. Then we did the first album in 2014 with the first female singer. But then we already told, we had the occasion to meet Lucille, and then we decided to shift and to propose to her to join the band. And from then, we are so happy.
So now you are 8-piece band, like
yeah, it's a difficult thing to manage when you are too much.
So how do you all fit in the stage? And do you have any like funny stories?
We don't.
There are plenty of funny stories.
Yeah, and actually we have one more member because maybe you remember, we usually have a live performer on stage with us. So she actually dances and performs, and so we basically can't move at all.
No, there are some time that you doesn't fit the stage, and it's awful. The last time we played, actually, it was in Italy. I fell from the stage. I fell down from the stage. It was so awkward, but was so tiny.
It was during the show?
Yeah, during the show, and with the mask I can't see anything sometimes, so I just but it was funny. People,
we didn't notice.
people liked it, people in the audience liked
Yeah,
it.
they were.
It was really a rock and roll.
Yeah, but you're theatrical, so you have the bride with the dancer there. You always act like.
Yeah,
I fell down.
I act like it was but it was programmed. It was inside the show, so it was something normal.
All planned.
We rehearsed it.
I did it for you.
So now, Lucille, you, if you could sing one song with someone else than Hydra, and it has to be male, so who would that be?
Oh my God.
Good question.
That's a huge question.
Yeah, that's the reason I asked it.
I would say Tommy Karavik from Camelot.
Yeah.
Just a little name.
Yes. Well, I love his voice. And I have to confess, I like more baritonal voices. I think they work better with mine because I'm a light soprano, and he has a darker voice, and I love it, the way he sings, and I love him.
Please
please sing with me.
I could
So
see
Aevum is a symphonic, neoclassic, theatrical metal, and it's progressed throughout the years. Can you tell us more about it?
Yeah, we like to create big names for. No, I think actually, if someone tried to ask me about what we are playing today, he gives me a hard time because it's difficult to just to explain in 2 words what you are trying to play. At the time we created a band following also the rules of the theater. So how you have to act on the stage, create also important image. And we think it's still really, really important to have a sort of impact on the audience. You have to attract the attention of the audience and maintain the attention because it's really difficult. So I think that, but today to describe what you are playing, well, it's still hard. And sometimes, sincerely, I don't care about names. Just listen to what we are doing, and if you like it, put a like. If you don't, I don't care.
Never mind.
Good approach.
So about now the genre. So you were established in 2007, and like you mentioned, 4 years later you had like a stable band, and then 2017 Lucille. So I'm wondering, because the Beauty and the Beast genre is basically a big genre with big names, but like in 2005 they started to shift to more commercial stuff and also to clean singing. So how did you manage to get a foot in this genre?
You totally right. Sincerely, you understood very well the situation. I think that this is due by the evolution of the society. We are influenced, bands, music, and everything is influenced by the social media. Sometime, for instance, it's weird, but 2 days ago I was discussing a collaboration with another musician from another band, and actually we were discussing to plan and to create something directly for a social media, for instance, for Instagram. Now, so there are many bands that create music just for YouTube, just for TikTok, just for Instagram, because you have to fit the social media. It's bad, it's good. I think that it's difficult to say. We can be judged to a situation like this. It's the evolution of the society. So today, with the came of the social media, we had the great opportunity to share our music all around the world. Now we are discussing with you, and if it was 20 years ago, it wasn't possible to do something like this, and it's amazing. We are discussing from different countries, and we are talking about our music, so something amazing. But at the same time, we have the concurrence of people from everywhere. So to have to grab your spot on YouTube or Spotify, it's more and more difficult. So this is why you have to try to attract the attention of the audience, and also the attention of the audience. It's very difficult to maintain this audience, because on YouTube, sometimes, if you noticed, the advertising, it's 5 seconds. Why? Because this is the average of the attention of the audience on YouTube. So sometimes you have to create a song that in the first 5 seconds has to hit the attention of the audience. So I don't want to say it's bad, it's good, but this is the situation of today. So also for us, it was something that we have to consider. And actually, after the last tour we did with Orphaned Land, we decided to change our sound, because we noticed also when you go live, now you need to go live with something that can have a more impact on the audience. So this is why.
Interesting story, but like you said, with videos and so on, it's so true. Like, I feel like bombarded with all bands, like coming from that side, you get an ad from that, and like a teenager, I discovered like new bands and so on, but I recently stopped with it because it's so much. Sometimes it pops up, but for me, like the best thing are gigs and so on. Like Orphaned Land, I was like, let's go to Orphaned Land, let's see who is supporting. Oh, Aevum, nice, at them. But it's indeed, it's overcrowding, like.
Sure. Yeah, I totally agree with you.
So how do you create the music, basically? And somebody creates music, somebody writes lyrics. How does that happen, the whole process?
I let the answer for the lyrics to Lucille.
Okay. Well, yes, let's say Richard creates the music, mostly Richard. And we create the lyrics with we, I mean I. Well, we set the topic.
Myself.
Well, no, just kidding. We set the topic as I said before, and then we try to choose one or two songs each, and then write the lyrics that involving the topic we choose.
And it's also a common process because it's important that someone give the idea to everybody, and then everybody also can have a sort of discussion on this idea. I can also to add something or sometime to try to modify. It's important also. This is the beauty to be in a band. So we have some time also to find an agreement between us. Sometime, or when you discuss with someone else that has different ideas compared to you, you can sometimes learn something new, and you can also create it to join the forces and create something more beautiful than before. So it's important also to create this dynamic inside the band.
Yeah,
the brainstorming, the discussion.
But at least you need a teacher sometime that try to put some rules to the children.
The chaos.
Yeah, if not, it will be a total chaos.
Yeah, with so many people, like 8 this idea.
Yeah, 8 different ways of thinking, music. It's not always easy.
Yeah, in
but
particular,
we got a teacher.
we came from different also kind of music, so we have totally different minds and way to enjoy music. So sometimes it's hard.
Yeah, so Lucille, using Italian mixed with English, and so isn't it hard to do it?
Well, not really. Well, I'm used to sing in Italian because, as I told you before, I'm a classically trained opera singer, so I sing also operas, concerts, and usually operas are mostly in Italian. But for the same reason, I'm also used to sing in different languages because operas are also in German, French, rarely English, but then I always studied English, so it comes natural when I sing. It's not that difficult.
It's great that you don't mix up language.
Well, not really, because when you sing, you memorize the lyrics connected to what you are singing, to the music, so it doesn't happen. Well, maybe when you forget the words, you just go, oh. So,
Yeah, wrong language.
No problem.
But then she told very well, because also the different languages can express a language. It's a sound. So the sound of English is different from French, from Spanish, from German, from Italian, and going on. So I like also the way to express a different sound inside the music. With French, you can have sometimes more a tender way to express something. Sometimes with German, it's harder. So this is why also, for instance, another band they did it before us was Hagar, and we were inspired from this also use of multiple languages inside songs.
Yeah, what I like, for me, the Italian is more operatic or something, like mysterious or operatic, and then the English is a little bit like normal, or
Yeah, more normal to metal,
Yeah. So, but if you write a song, so how do you pick like Italian and English, or you just write and you're like, this mood is like English, this mood is like Italian?
Well, it depends on what we are trying to express, as Richard said before.
For instance, if I picked the song called Tire in Multiverse, we decided to put three different languages in the same song, because the part of the male singer were sang in English, but you know the main part of Lucille she was singing in French, and then we put just also few words in Italian. It was nice to mix three different languages, and we did it because we created different sort of dimension at the same time, you know, different sounds. It was just like this. It came just like this.
Yeah. And I think that was also because, you know, my part is more sweet and soft.
Mhm.
So French really applied to it, let's say. So yeah, they are connected to the music, I think. You know, the more operatic parts, they come in Italian because, yeah, opera is Italian, you know.
Now, next step, it's Japanese.
What?
It's up to you. You have to sing. It's not my job.
So
I
Lucille,
can't write lyrics in Japanese, sorry.
A character.
Yeah, just random words.
yeah.
Arigato.
So, Lucille, how do you prepare your voice before the show? Do you do any special, I don't know, exercises?
Too much.
Yeah.
Too much.
Yeah, they laugh at me because I always vocalize before the show. Yes, about 10 minutes. Because, well, the voice needs to warm up. And then I have to be careful to what I eat. Well, you shouldn't eat just before the show, otherwise all the food will go there while you sing, and that wouldn't be nice.
Oh, okay.
And then you gotta be careful to what you drink too. So being a singer sucks.
Actually, I have a real funny story about, you know, the preparation of Lucille. I remember we were in Bucharest, and we were waiting to play in a really big summer festival just before Rotting Christ, and she was preparing herself to sing. She was actually in the bathroom singing opera. And the band that they played before us, where they played a sort of black metal, and someone with a face painting, so a big guy with face painting, looked to me and said, "Oh, it's really scary." Talking about Lucille, not him. She was scary.
Yeah, with the Phantom of the Opera, you know, like there in the basement.
Amazing. So you toured also with Orphaned Land. So how did you meet them, and how the tour came together?
Well, actually, you know, we at the time we had a partnership with booking agency, so that they were in charge to find us European support tour. And then when they proposed Orphaned Land, I was really amazed, because Orphaned Land was a band that I really liked when I was younger. And so I proposed to my bandmates, and everybody was thrilled to join the tour. And so we did it. So when you met, you know, someone like Orphan Land, then you are happy, because the tour is always a really good moment, you know, in your life, because you enjoy. You have a really beautiful life on tour.
Yeah, and it's like Orphaned Land is like big event, like they were supporting Blind Guardian, and then they come back with you in the Netherlands as headliner. Was something.
Yeah.
It was like crowdy and so on, like in the Netherlands. I know the tickets went fast. So yeah, any interesting stories with Orphaned Land?
10,000. You know, it was a weird winter, I remember, because it was a warm winter, but the only real cold weeks, were the 2 weeks of the tour. So we found the snow everywhere. We drove also, and it was amazing. You know, I remember just we were rushing to take the train from London to
To
Paris. Yes,
Yeah.
to Paris, and we have our bus, and it was snowing everywhere, and the situation in the highway was a mess. So we were running
But
out.
the English graveyards were amazing.
Because Lucille, she loved the English graveyard.
You know,
Why?
Gothic graveyards.
You know, we all the bands were worried about, we are losing our train, so we were driving, and in a moment it was like, oh, a beautiful English graveyard with the snow.
Well, it was snowing. It was quite
You see, she's
spectacular.
always positive, also in the bad situations.
That's very
But-
important.
But in Italy, you have lots of grey hairs. Like even you have a shitty Aquila, like with graves and so on. So why were you so attracted to the English?
Yeah, that's true. But the English graveyards are like Gothic. They just seem to be coming out from Gothic novels and books. With the snow. It was beautiful. Well, Richard doesn't agree, but
Well, I can relate to it because, well, Ireland is similar to England, so
Yeah.
it's pretty similar. And as a photographer, like I like to take photos of many things, and I have so many photos of the cemetery, like Gothic style. And it's like, wow.
wow. Yeah, I
the
agree.
The best place to find you when you're touring is on an English graveyard.
Yeah. True.
But for sure,
Or
for Lucille.
sleeping.
Yeah, that one as well.
So, what countries did you tour so far, and is there any favorite that you visit, and what would you like to add?
Well, we played in a lot of countries in
Yeah.
Europe. So we had the chance to be in Spain, in France, in Romania, in Netherlands, in Switzerland, in
England,
Czech Republic. So
Germany.
yeah, we have Slovenia too. So we have different opportunities, and we are so glad. Unfortunately, never Ireland, but it will be nice. Maybe at the beginning, the first time I saw the tour of Orphaned Land, Dublin was scheduled, but then they just they modify the tour, and so we missed Ireland. But maybe in the future, why not?
Yeah, that would be nice.
That would be nice, but yeah, it's always like not a lot of bands tour here in Ireland. It's like a pity. It would be great.
Yeah, it's hard to get here, insurance, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Don't tell them. Then they don't come. Don't spoil the fun. Like we want to have a fun. That would be so amazing.
And you have to take a boat.
Or fly to Ryanair in class. That's an option.
Yeah.
So,
I think, but if I have to complete your question with my answer is, I think that Germany is one of the best country to play. The audience is always amazing. Sometimes cold, but sometimes they are really they enjoy the live scenes, and so well, it's my opinion, but I really like to play in Germany.
Yeah. Well, I have to admit that the Underworld gig was one of my favorites because I love that place. and it's like a historical place for concerts. And also London, I really like London. One of
Then
my
Camden,
favorite European cities. Yeah.
Camden Town. So
Yeah, also Camden Town.
Amazing.
Yeah. Good memory.
So, which country like is the best crowd at? Is it Germany or?
Well, I think the best crowd, yeah, maybe Germany.
yeah,
So far, then maybe we were
Yeah,
lucky, maybe unlucky, I don't know.
sometimes it's difficult to judge a country from another one, because also inside the country you try different towns, and also they have different reaction. I remember the big difference from the in Germany that we had in Leipzig compared to the crowd we had in Berlin or in Hamburg. So sometimes also, if you just pick one town in a country, then maybe it's not the best. It could be the best representation of the entire country. So sometimes it's hard to say. But in my opinion, we had the best energies from the German people.
And it's true. Like I was surprised in Netherlands, they put you like in an old bunker, like in Arnhem. It was such a small place. I was like, and then you are with 8 people trying to fit there. It was like crazy, because normally, like for big bands, we normally have like big stages, and it's like in Arnhem we haven't have one. But I know why they put you in such a small. But yeah, it was something.
It was horrible. It was so difficult to play this situation. But
Yeah, when I came there, I know maybe one band before I had like 2 gigs there, but the first time I was there, I was like, where am I? Like, it's like an old bunker, it's muffy. It was like, oh, and then like I know the crowd, you were squeezed and so on, and then the stage was small.
Well, we're used to, so no problem.
But yeah, you have to try another city in Netherlands, something big or something like that.
Okay, yeah, true.
Or you have to know it, because Dutch band always get to a big ones, and the worst stages are for the foreigners.
Maybe.
So back now to Italy. So what can you tell us about the Italian metal scene? And maybe Richard can tell us something about the French one.
So let's
Let Richard answer that.
go first about Italy.
Well, I can't really say, because I'm a bit out, I'm more into classical music and opera music, so it's hard for me to tell. I should get into it more, that's true, so that's what I'm gonna do. That's my goal. To meet new people and talk to them. Like, I think in a metal scene from a country, people should talk and have know each other, meet each other. I think we have to support each other, because metal is still something that a few people like. That's the truth. It's not mainstream. So there shouldn't be there should be supporting between bands, I think. Well, we receive that a lot. We have some friends. I have some friends from Italian metal bands, but like I should put more effort in it.
I totally agree. France and Italy are not so far. I think that I would say that they are countries not for metal music. Then maybe France is a little bit better. They still have important festival like Hellfest that we don't have in Italy. Fortunately, there are still many good bands in Italy and in France too. So there are still, we are not so many, but there are still very talented people that are able to form talented band too. So there are many examples in this country that I could, talk about. I think that it's important also to consider that we try also to create a sort of metal scene. So this is why also, because we know everybody we know everybody inside this community. We were a big community, so we can sometimes do some partnership collaboration, and it's cool. But unfortunately for the metal scene, it's hard for French bands and Italian bands to play in this country, because venues, unfortunately, they're playing less and less metal, and so there are less and less spots also to occasion opportunities to play your music live.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you have like many friends in metal community in Italy. So you know Fabio Leone?
Sure.
Yeah. Would you like to collaborate with him on any projects, because he did so many different things?
Fabio,
Shall I answer?
yeah, go, Lucille.
Go. Okay. Well, I actually started listening to metal also because Rhapsody and Rhapsody of Fire and all the other Rhapsodies there are now. I'm
10,000 Rhapsodies.
So many.
Yeah, so I basically grew up with his voice, so it would be great to do something with him.
Yeah, I've been listening to them since 2000.
Yeah, we already shared the stage one time. We were playing in Italy, and actually it was at the time singing with Vision Divine band. So it was nice.
Cool.
But it's really busy, man. So it's hard.
Yeah, that would be hard.
I believe, yes.
So about Italy, what's your favorite Italian drink?
I don't know.
I think most famous maybe Spritz.
Spritz? I don't know it.
Yeah, Spritz is very famous from the northeast of Italy. Well, actually, you mix some prosecco, like champagne, with Aperol. It's a really
drink.
It's a drink, but it's really popular in Italy.
Nice. It sounds like you're gonna drink it like a juice, because it's gonna be very.
So you have tried it, Richard, the drink, or you're just describing what you saw?
No. I tried it. I tried it, but I never like it. But it's my problem. Then I don't know what Lucille likes.
Well, I like everything. Just alcohol. Well, Spritz is like our national drink. Like you drink at aperitivo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like the moment before dinner when you start eating, but not much, just a little bit, but you start drinking.
And what about limoncello? It's like big product, like in Italy, but then
well, it's a different kind of drink.
You start
it's
with
like
Spritz and you finish.
Yes, it's like after dinner. Well, you have aperitivo, then you have dinner, and
with
you drink wine. Yes, of course. And then you have coffee after dinner, and then you have what we call ammazza caffè, which means coffee killer.
Alcohol.
Yes, coffee killer is alcohol, and you can drink limoncello.
Grappa.
Or I saw you were drinking di Saronno.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a coffee killer too. And so on. Well, you can drink it anytime actually, but that's a tradition, let's say.
Amazing. And the coffee is always like, what do you have for coffee? Is it latte macchiato or is it black? Because I see
Espresso.
Espresso.
Yeah,
espresso. Then you have 10,000 ways to to drink a coffee with milk, without milk, cold, with hot milk.
With the cold milk.
Double espresso, little espresso,
Cappuccino.
Americano, cafe latte. So it's horrible to be a barman.
But the funny thing is, like you mentioned, like espresso is like the way to drink coffee, but like Italy is the only like country where the coffee is always good. Like even at the station, the latte macchiato is always good, and with most countries it's horrible. Like,
well, that's not true. We are very picky about coffee.
Actually, we are so picky about all the food.
Yes,
every time we are abroad, it's like no, this is shit. I miss the real Italian coffee.
But not always true. Depends.
yeah, but I think Italians are great coffee makers and cookers and everything. Like,
yeah, I got a funny story. In my previous band, I was touring with them, and we were in a van, and we had like a fornello,
a cooker.
A cooker, yes. And I brought with me my mocha, the thing you do to make coffee in Italy. Yeah, then I started making coffee for all the people there, for all the bands, and they were like, wow, this coffee is amazing. It's just normal coffee.
Then in Italy, we have a big tradition with food, so for us it's like as a holy thing. So if you talk about pasta and pizza, you have to be serious. If not, you have to know.
So if you're cooking pasta, you have to make it from the scratch. You never buy the pre-made one.
Well, no, you buy the made one, but you have to use boiling water and just stand for 10 minutes maximum.
They have to be al dente.
Perfect.
For sure.
And the amazing thing is, if you go to an Italian store, then you have black pasta, you have pasta in this form, and then in this form without gluten. It's amazing. So much choices. And that's the reason when I go on holidays, my parents, it's always like pasta, this, oh, this one looks nice, let's take it.
I'm not joking, but I think that there are at least 1,000 different kind of pasta in Italy. So sometimes I can hear some new words of kind of pasta that I never heard in my life, but they exist. So it's incredible.
So if
we're on the food question, sorry, as we're on the food question, what is your favorite food? Italian, obviously.
Well,
Bagna cauda.
What's that?
Well, actually, it's a real typical food from Turin, our hometown. But actually, we eat that only in our hometown, in our region, not in the other Italians. They didn't know what it is.
Yeah, and people wouldn't like it.
Why?
And there are, because it's something really strong. It's a sort of soup with with garlic. Lots of garlic.
Only garlic.
Oh.
Kill a vampire.
Yeah, it's totally killer.
Well, you don't eat the soup. You use the soup to
for vegetables, for
with vegetables, potatoes, and what else?
Meat,
anything, cookies.
But the particularity of Italy is that we have 20 regions, and we just unified our country 150 years ago. And so before our country, we had different type of countries. So this is why each region have different type of language, different dialects. And we have also different tradition of food. So if you look to the dishes that we can do in the northeast, they are totally different from the dishes that you can find in the northwest, in the south, in the center of Italy. So we have thousands of different dishes that people from other countries they don't know. There are different way to express our food. So this is why we are so proud for our products, and we can talk about food all the night.
Yes, really. You want recipes? I give you recipes.
And then there are big debates about how to do the real carbonara. Is it with guanciale? No, I can. No. There are debates, and we are incredible.
What I find funny about Italians, like there is certain ways to make spaghetti bolognese. So in some parts you get like meat and so on, and we got like I think in the Flower River, so below. And then my sister ordered, and she got only like tomato sauce, and she was like, "Where's the meat? What's this?"
Yeah, well, as he was saying, there are a million ways to make a bolognese because
different recipe, different.
Yeah, it depends on the families. It's like a secret recipe for each family. So my grandma used to make. No, my grandma did that. So it's always arguing, like.
And then also,
as
there are so many dishes that they don't exist in Italy. For instance, in America, they think that we are used to prepare garlic bread, but actually we never heard about garlic bread in Italy. There are different
or fettuccine alfredo.
Alfredo, never heard of it.
They don't exist.
Oh.
Safest one.
Sorry, you're upset.
So safest one is the pizza.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
What's yours?
I like the four fromage, like that one in Italy. Like that's amazing. Like the cheese and so on, it's amazing. Always melted. And then the pizza is so big. It's like my favorite one.
But also there are big debates about pizza in Italy, because the real pizza from Naples has to be thick, has to be in a certain way with some product, but the pizza from Rome, it's different. So this is why we talk just only about food.
I will go with the region. Sorry, I will go with the region where they eat the thin pizza.
In Rome.
So Rome.
Okay.
But it's also dependable. Like in Tuscany, I think the pizza is smaller than in northern Italy. So you pay the same price, but you get a smaller pizza, and you're like, "What?
It depends.
What the fuck?"
Yeah, exactly.
No, I had the same problem here in France. That it's more expensive pizza, and then it's much worse than in Italy. So every time I'm pissed.
You're stocking pizza when you're going to Italy, and for her, pizza.
My mom put pizza inside, my wallet.
Special delivery.
Italian mamma.
Okay, I say our viewers are getting hungry. Maybe we should move on.
Sorry, guys.
First, I want a pizza now.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's really a comfort food.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on. Lucille, I know you love cats. Not to eat, okay. But how did you find out that you are a cat person rather than a dog person? Like, when did you have your first cat? How old were you?
Well, I was 9, so I grew up with my kitty. She was called Lulu. Yeah, she grew up with me, and then I decided to have more cats. Now I'm married and I live with my husband and 2 cats, and obviously I love them more.
Lucille, so you had the Warcraft beer like thing before the interview. So you like playing Warcraft games or books?
Yeah, you noticed.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm a huge nerd, so I like playing games, watching TV series, playing tabletop games, war games, role-playing games. So almost any kind of game. Yeah, and I played World of Warcraft a lot.
The online one, right? The
What?
online,
Sorry?
the online game, like the Warcraft, like the online game, or was it
Yeah,
like?
online.
Ah,
Yeah, well, when I was younger.
amazing. And then your favorite games? Which are your favorite games?
Yeah, I will say I like MMORPG a lot because I actually can play with people. I was really into it a lot, like
So,
an addiction. Well, I met some great people there. Some people that I talk to now as well. We spent nights and nights playing and talking on Discord and TeamSpeak. We used TeamSpeak. Yeah, that was really really nice. Now I play like more casual games. I don't have that much time.
yeah, I imagine like being on tour and gaming online somewhere
Yeah.
in the middle of the night.
I can't go on stage. I'm playing. I'm raiding.
Have you tried a Powerwolf game?
Not yet, but I know it's good.
And then
We
you
played-
know who created the power.
Yeah, we know who created it.
Yeah, we watched the video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And TV series? What kind of TV series you're watching?
Well, as I said, I like sci-fi series, movies, but
Mhm.
I'm also into sitcoms because
Friends?
at the moment it's not really a sitcom, but I like it a lot. It's the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel and Fleabag. They are great.
Never heard of it. Interesting.
They're in Italy they're on Amazon. They're funny series, but not so funny in a way.
Cool.
That's the ones I watched. I was watching, and I'm watching also Battlestar Galactica. That I never seen that, so I have to watch it because it's important. It's a milestone in sci-fi.
Yeah, it is.
Interesting. I the names. I'm like the opposite genre, so the names don't say anything.
Okay.
But interesting, like.
What about you, Richard? How did you keep yourself busy during lockdown?
Yeah, lots of series. For instance, I had the occasion to saw Peaky Blinders. Was the first time I saw it the entire season, and I really really love it. It was so difficult because you know the British accent and from Birmingham was so difficult to understand, but really really nice. Then you know during the lockdown, I had the occasion to play, to compose a new song, so it was cool time and force for to try also to have new ideas and also to try
He's
to
a serious one. I watch TV and play video games, and he composes music.
no, I like you. I watch also so many series, but for me, my best one is still remain Breaking Bad.
Oh yeah.
I fell in love.
I still have to watch that. Like that one, I know. That one, I know.
You have to watch it immediately.
Yeah, it's just.
Yeah, right now. Close the stream and go
Yeah,
watch.
exactly after the stream. Yeah, I think I watch different like genres. It's not totally what I watch, but I would certainly like everyone is talking. Now I have to do it. Like even now it's haunting me.
So amazing.
Richard, did you try the Better Call Saul?
Yeah, sure. It's not good as you know Breaking Bad, but if you really enjoyed Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul it's funny because you saw the character before the Breaking Bad, so it's a really good spin-off.
Cool.
All right.
I'm less sci-fi. I'm not so sci-fi as Lucille.
I'm fantasy, sci-fi, and so on.
I'm more realistic, I prefer realistic things, producing drugs,
Killing people.
killing people. We came from Italy, there's no mafia, so it's important, to still
Oh,
attach
I
with
do
the
something
roots.
for you. You do something for me.
Cool stuff. So certainly I will check out some stuff you mentioned, like especially Breaking Bad, maybe the sci-fi.
You have to.
I will someday. So that were our questions for you, and now we have the viewers' question. The first one. So Elias Häkkinen is asking, come to Finland and see what kind of crowd we have to offer.
I think it's one of our dream to come to Finland.
Have you been in any of the northern countries there?
No, never. And then, if we just look to the statistic that we have on Spotify, they are the best countries that we can play, because our kind of music is really, really appreciated in Sweden, in Finland, in Norway. So we will be awesome to be there.
Yeah, the symphonic metal is big there, like the bands and so on, you would fit nicely. But any preferences for the winter or summer, or you just go for the Finnish?
For sure, for summertime.
Well, I suggest summer. Then I don't know.
Like at the hottest peak of the temperature, you're going to Finland.
Yeah, exactly.
So also Elias Häkkinen asking a question for Richard. Where those 10 minutes long masterpiece disappeared from Multiverse, and there aren't even over 6-minute songs?
As I told you before, yes, a really good question. We were used to, at the beginning, to compose huge songs, 10-minute songs. In the first album, all the songs were at least 8 minutes, 9 minutes. Then, we understood that we have to evolve the sound, and today we can afford to have huge songs. Sometime in this Chronia we did it with one song called Inner Fire, but then we have to move on. And essentially I think that we already composed everything in full songs. Now we have to express our music, our evolution in a new way, and the short songs are the best way to express our new ideas, I think. Then maybe in the future we will go back to this type of song, but I don't know.
Cool.
Oh, we have a question from Lucas Pisu, and this question is for Lucille. So, which challenges have you faced as a woman in the metal circus?
That's an interesting question. Really, thank you. Well, being a woman isn't easy in any kind of environment, because they always think you're, weak and you can't do much and you need help. There are mostly men in the metal scene, but I have to say that they always have been nice and kind, and there isn't much this kind of prejudice towards women. So I think it's an inclusive scene. And I have the direct experience from my metal band mates, and they are the best, really. So no problems at all, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Well, it's not easy when you have your period being on a tour. Let's say that.
No.
Not that story.
No.
You just need to remove your headset.
If you try to schedule, the recording session during this period, you have to cancel everything. So you reschedule for another time.
Yeah. Interesting time for women.
Yeah, well, that's something that really happens. It's not easy, actually.
What can we do? It's nature.
Sometimes you can put it into the song, like the feeling, how you feel and so on, but I don't know if it works for all.
It could be a good film.
Okay, we have another question for Lucille from Nati. If I can read this. Bougainvillea. Sorry if I pronounced it wrong. Could you talk a bit about your passion for classical music and how was the transition to the metal scenario? Was there any story so far?
Thank you for the question. Well, as I said, I studied classical music. I started singing when I was maybe 16, and then I found myself on a stage as I was acting, not singing, and then I fell in love with musical theater, because opera is also theater, not just singing, and that's the part I like the most. So I found myself a teacher, and then I got into a conservatorio, which is a conservatory. I don't know if you call it the same. You study opera, singing, and also music, piano and music theory and so on. And then I just always liked metal. Well, I started singing also because I loved Nightwish and, the operatic vocals of Tarja, and she was my hero. So they grew, my passions grew together. And I was in a band before being in Aevum. Then for many reasons I quit. And then Richard appeared. They continued both. I got two paths, the classical one and the gothic, symphonic, we don't know, metal one. And they coexist. They live together. They are at peace.
Quite amazing story. So someone is asking us, the interviewers. So
that's your turn, girls.
Yeah, so the question is from Elias Hackingen. What's your favorite Aevum song? So Veronica, you go first. I have to look it up.
Well, you're the biggest fan. Come on. Well,
I know, but they sing in Italian. I don't know Italian.
Yeah, I started listening just recently from Multiverse album. So my favorite would be Spark of Life and Time and the Time Machine, because they're so interesting, that very different to what I hear before. So I like those, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
So for me, it's especially I started with Discronia, and that one, I think the third song, the Vitro Condition, is amazing, with where you switch with you operatic and then Hydra with unclean vocals, and that was also a song that you sung on tour. I think it's the Vitro Condition, but I could be
yeah, it's the Victorian Condition. You're right.
Yeah, so I looked it up because I know which kind of song I like, but I'm not good at names. I forget them. So.
Me too. Yeah. I could say another funny story, because when we started to compose the songs for Multiverse, well, actually at the beginning we didn't have some titles. So we just named the song A, B, C, D, E, F, And there are still some band mate that sometime called the name of the song. Now we are playing C. Ah, okay, okay. So we play C.
Not C, it's Spark of Life.
Amazing. So back to answering the question. So yeah, that's the virtual condition. And then there is a part, Memento Mori, where Hydra is talking in Italian, and it's like, nice. And then you have Lord of Dreams with the electro elements and so on. And then you're like, whoa, that's like amazing. And that's like, and then you have also like a little bit Sturm und Drang. That's also interesting because you think German and then you get something else. So yeah, that's interesting. And then we invited you for the interview, we connected, and then I was like, oh yeah, Multiverse is something I need to listen to, especially like I'm the person, like I love the album and so on. It's more like if you are on tour, I will buy it. Like that's how I usually like, because you get the signs and so on. It's much easier than order it, and with Posto it's less hassle. But I was like, let's have a listen. Like I saw the Time Machine in March, which was great, like because of different transitions in time and so on, and then like the vocal like change and so on, which was kind of interesting. That was what I saw in March, and that really spoke to me. And then in June, like I started to listen to Aevum, to the new stuff, because I love like Discronia. I couldn't get enough. I'm listening like every week or now even every day to Aevum, or even twice time to prepare for the week. So
Thank you.
but for the Multiverse, it was especially, now I forgot the name. There was one song that was interesting, but I forgot.
Say a letter, A, B, C, so you
yeah, A, B, C,
right.
But the one that really like was quite interesting and so on was Spark of Light, because it was like, that's something else. It's like signs and red letters, and then the combination Lucille and Hydra was a bit different, and then like it was totally different and it was fresh and so on. And that's what I posted also on DMG. I was like, this is something new, that's cool. But like after this interview, I realized I need to have a closer look, because there was one element that didn't fit with me, and that was the French one.
Yes, in Tahir.
Yeah.
See? That song I need to re-listen and see.
Yeah.
Because when I listen to Aevum, I've like, when I listen to bands, it's or the person I like, person and the band is all right. I listen to the lyrics, so like the text, and then you have the atmosphere. So what wants to be preserved? The outfit. You have then the element. Then you have the combinations of vocals. Then you have some electro parts, like a little bit, like you said, the electro thing, the instrumental part, and so on. So it's a lot of aspects. And then I'm also focusing on the language, like Italian, English, and so on. For me, like Aevum is a really complex band, a bit like it has so many layers and so on. And for me, like that's what I said, like the from Multiverse, like Spark of Light and Spark of Light and Time Machine was what I found like the most interesting and best songs. But maybe it could change over time, because I think I've been listening for Discronia like 1 year before I just peeled all layers and so on. So I was, even after the tour, so quite busy with Discronia, I couldn't get enough. So I think the Multiverse will be the next challenge, to just layer it off and see.
Yeah, let us know what you find out. It's interesting.
Yeah, just see all the elements. So, Veronica, you came up with another song. I was talking and talking. Now you can.
I want to ask the guys what would be their song favorite from Aevum to perform.
Actually, it's a really interesting question, because as you told very well, we have different type of layers in our song, and sometimes we put inside our song different kind of music. In Tahir, for instance, in the middle of the song, we reproduce a sort of flamenco In this Chronia, we have some jazz part mixed with electronic music. Sometimes we try to have some reggae, some hip hop. Try to have different type of beat inside our songs. So this is why we show to the audience different ways also to express our music, our sound. And so this is why we have different type of answers about what is your favorite song. There are people that say it's the first, it's the second, it's the third. So there is no just one song that can agree for everybody. So this is wonderful because everybody has the possibility, the chance, to like different songs of us.
Well, the questions was different, Richard.
Yes, a bit.
But
What is your favorite song to perform?
I didn't hear to perform.
Yeah,
Okay.
my favorite song.
Okay, we can stop the stream and redo it.
We start over.
I can always cut it like.
Yeah.
For me, actually, I really like one song from the first album we composed, Impressions, and this song is called Monsters, because actually we have lots of fun when we play this song. We're on the stage, we have different ways to express this song, and I always really enjoy to play Monsters live.
Yes,
Cool.
I agree with Richard, and I also like. Well, I don't know about Multiverse because we never had the chance to perform any song from Multiverse live. But from this Chronia, I love playing live the Sleeping Venus Tarantella because it's just fun. And then everybody jump and we dance. And then I love, I don't remember
say one name just like this.
Beltade, which we haven't played much, but I really like to sing that one. And also Vitruvian Condition. It's much fun.
Cool. I'll be sure to check those out.
Okay.
Yeah, I will check them also out and try to remember the name. And not A, B, C.
Right. Well, the Sleeping Venus Tarantella is just a tarantella, and it's like a tribute to an Italian traditional music. We usually closed our concerts with this song. It was like a signature, and then it's really fun to play live. But most even don't agree with me.
So what's this kind of Italian tradition then?
The tarantella.
Ah.
It's from the south of Italy.
It's a
like
dance,
a
popular
dance
song. Well, it's the rhythm of this dance called tarantella. Everybody dance this type of tarantella. So we just take this rhythm and we transport this rhythm inside the metal music.
Yeah, and tarantella comes from the word tarantula, because they said that the people who danced to this song were so crazy because they jump like crazy because they were bitten by spiders. So that's the story behind.
That's weird.
Yeah.
So as you transfer a non-metal song to metal, would there any cover of any famous non-metal song that you would like to do?
Yeah, so many. Sometimes I think that one time per day I have a song that I would like to to make a cover or to reproduce. I already did it because we already did it because it was 10 years ago. I was hit by the dubstep the new style, and we try to figure out how to compose and put some dubstep inside our songs, and we did it. But yes, we continue, and still we have different type of music and styles that we would like to put inside our songs for sure.
Well, I'd love to make a cover of a song from some game or movie, like soundtrack. I really love it. You might know it. The song from World of Warcraft, sung by Sylvanas. The Lament of the Highborn. I would like to sing that a lot, but Richard,
I don't know it.
I would do that by myself. No, a cappella.
I will have a listen to the Warcraft song, as I play games but never Warcraft, and I would like try to fit you in. Sounds
Yeah, Lament of the Highborn. It's very beautiful. It's a lament, a very sad song.
So we have a lot of homework to do.
Yeah, sorry.
But first, Breaking Bad.
The main thing.
Yeah, and then tell the opinion. How was it? Yeah. So we have another question. So from Elias Hackingen. So now he has a question for you guys. So what's the funniest studio memory?
Go first.
I don't know. Maybe I already told this one to Elias. Well, it was freezing in the studio, and I had this huge coat that was so warm, and I was so happy to sing in my big coat. But then when I moved, you can hear in the microphone like, so I had to take it off. And it was freezing, and I was sad because of my coat.
I think it didn't help, like the singing, because normally if you have cold, it shivers and so on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, you still remain young, so it was for you.
Yeah. The beauty treatment for the skin.
No, for me it was during the last session for Multiverse. When we recorded the drums. It was nice because our drummer was so tired, and he decided to directly to stay in the rehearsal room and to sleep directly over there. So we recorded in 2 days, and the day after we come back to the studio, and he was already there on the floor sleeping, waiting for us. It was a funny situation.
That's crazy.
Yeah, sometimes there are some musicians that they have to enter inside a sort of ambience, and so if they leave this ambience, they risk, I don't know, to lose their flow. So they prefer. So this is why, for instance, it was the speech of our drummer. He said, "No, I prefer to stay there because I have to stay focused." So. So I understand him, but it was funny to find him on the floor sleeping.
Yeah.
Did you bring him food?
No.
Oh,
You have to finish first.
a pizza.
Yeah. Okay, we have a last viewer's question from Nicolas Katsinis. So do you know Vinozzino Capotella? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's a non-metal.
Vinicio Caposella, sì.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Vinicio Capotella.
Don't worry.
You said really good.
You know the band?
Yeah, it's well, actually, he's Italian, but he has, I don't know actually where he came from exactly.
It should be Greek style. Yeah, great.
Yeah, he is. But then he's singing in Italian, and he has a really, really particular way to sing and to compose their songs. So it's something that you can hear sometime on popular radio in Italy, but not so popular. So it's something that is, well, it's not for common people, Benicio Capocel. It's something that you have to have some knowledge to understand his music. So it's something that I really appreciate, and there are different songs that I really like it and I listen to.
Cool.
I think so. That were all viewer questions. So we are wrapping up. So any plans for the future?
I let Lucille first.
Well, we hope that this situation will end soon, so we'll be able to play. I really want to play and promote Multiverse, which we weren't able to do. So that's the dream, let's say, not the plan.
Yeah, because it's still a difficult situation, so we don't know exactly when we can schedule new lives and shows. So for the moment is a big mess, and we have to wait. At the same time, we are still working on new stuff because we think that it's important to create new music and new songs. We are musicians, we are a band, so it's our job to create new music.
Yeah, I can imagine that would be wonderful to see gigs to be like moving freely and so on without the restrictions. So yeah.
Sure.
So thank you for the viewers who have been watching tonight, and don't forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel so you can rewatch it and so on. If it comes in 2 weeks, it will
do it.
Thank you everyone for the questions, interesting questions.
Yep, and then also thank you for a
as you prefer.
She froze. That was too much.
So hard, yeah.
She was punished by a mispronunciation.
Who were willing to give this interview. Tell us more. Yeah, my screen froze, so everything fast forward. So no, but thank you. It was really interesting to have the chat. I know more about Aevum. I know also more about Italy, the food, the culture, the music, and so on. So definitely. And
and then that you have to watch Breaking Bad, so you have to know it.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, thanks to you. You were really kind and nice, and it was a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you guys so much for joining.
Yeah, well, it was a real pleasure. It was a real funny chat. So glad to be with you. And if you want to know more about Aevum, you have to check our social media, Facebook, Instagram. You can find us on Spotify. So give us a chance to listen at least one song.
We also are available to answer. Just DM, we're there.
And we ourselves as DMG will post all links and so on, so you can support the band in person if you like the interview. And so,
thank you very much.
So yeah, have a great night for the viewers, and see you next week.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
Bye.
Viva la pizza.
Viva la pizza.
An Italian drink.
Yeah. Spritz.
And Aevum music.
And Breaking Bad.